Good morning, my name is Kirsty and welcome to Kirsty Knits and Sews. This is my YouTube channel where I share about all the things that I've been making, and today I have a Tour De Fleece, not roundup, beginning. This Saturday, it is currently Thursday the 2nd of June, and on the 4th of July, it is the 2nd of July, and on the 4th of July, Tour De Fleece starts. Now, if you're not familiar with Tour De Fleece, Tour de France happens in July every year, and while the bike riders are spinning, the spinners spin along. And so I am joining Melly Knits team, the Dashiell's road trip I think she's doing this year. And so basically you can just find someone who is doing it and join in. You can create your own team. It's like, I don't know how many people, a lot, thousands, hundreds of thousands maybe, people do this every year. And so it's just basically about finding a group of people to spin with and spin along, and every team has a different focus. Now, Melly Knits Dashes, her focus, or their focus is, our focus is stashing down. So it's the stash dashes. And the plan is just use what you already have in your stash instead of buying. A lot of people come out with new colorways of fibre for Tour De Fleece. But yeah, the focus here is just to spin what you have and what has been in your stash for a while. So I am super duper busy this week. I've barely had a chance to even knit or sit down. And we've also had a heat wave. Oh my goodness, it started cooling down last night, but it has been a heat wave here. And so in the evenings, I have just been going to bed and going to sleep, or having cold showers and going to bed, because it has just been so hot. However, it is the morning and it is Thursday and I want to be ready to start on Saturday. So I thought I would pull some things out of my stash and share them with you, what I would love to make or what I would love to spin. Now, what I've pulled out is a little bit of a mix of old and newer things. I think there is a couple of things here that I did pick up when I was in at Wool. Now I'm going to forget what it was called. Wonderwool Wales, and I also picked up something in Tewkesbury that's here, but a lot of the things that are here have been presents from a while ago or things that I picked up a long time ago. So let's get into it. I didn't plan, but I did pick out about 100 grams of stuff. A kilogram of stuff. Will I spin a kilogram in the 3 weeks that tour is on? Probably not, but I'm just gonna put it all in a basket and see what I get through. So we're going to start with this one. This is some fibre that I got for, I believe it was for Christmas. Oh, I wonder if that can count towards one of the Christmas in July make-alongs as well. I got this for Christmas from my brother. It is Tasmanian Superwash Merino Wool by Sally Ridgway, and it's an 18.5 micron. It's 100 grams. It is absolutely beautiful. I love the colors in here. Sally has some beautiful colorways. I think I'd had some of her yarn before, and this is the first bit of her fiber that I have received and will be spinning. So yes, this is number 100 grams. The second one that I have here is a bat. Now this doesn't have a label on it and I couldn't tell you what fibre it is, but I can tell you it came from, oh, now I'm not even going to remember who I bought it from. That is terrible. I bought it in Tewkesbury from a woman who was there. She had some beautiful yarn, and I got some of her yarn as well, which did have labels on it, but she just had this little 50-gram bat, and so I thought I would get this and have a go. You can see, hopefully, there's some texture bits in here, so I'm expecting some neps. But yeah, I love doing long draw from bats, and when I saw the bat, I thought, yes, let's give it a go. I will try and put on the screen who that was, because I will have her name somewhere else. Also picked up at Wonderwool, I have some John Arbon Yarnadelic fibre tops. So I picked this up from the little scrap bin that they had. And so I've got 3 different colors here, and altogether it's 100 grams. I've picked a few of these little scrap packs because I know if I'm trying to do like a 200, 300, 400 gram spin, I just get a little bit bored. And so for tour, I would rather have some smaller bits and get some of those tried because I do want to try a whole bunch of different fibers. So I'd rather get little bits and try them and have the fun and motivation with the color, and then leave the bigger spins for when I'm just spinning in the morning over a long period of time. So yeah, beautiful colors here, and this is 100% Falklands Corriedale. So I've got Merino, which I've spun before. I've got Falklands Corriedale, which I'm not sure if I have spun before. I've spun Corriedale, obviously, but Falklands, I'm not sure. And I have this one, which I don't know what this is. I know she had Polworth, and I know she had Merino, and I think she had Corriedale in her shop, but that was all yarn, not fibre. So again, not sure. All right, this one, I have some Chevio top. Now this one, I don't know where I got it. It's from the UK, imported by Little Barn Limited, but I have a feeling I bought it from Canberra Spinners and Weavers. They have a little shop where they meet to spin and weave every week. They have just a little storeroom that has stuff for sale. And so I think I picked that up from there just because I wanted to practice spinning different things. If I didn't pick it up from there, it's possible that another one of the women who is in Canberra Spinners and Weavers, who I met at a yarn show in Australia, gave it to me, because she did give me some of her things that she was like, I'm never going to spin this. This one did indeed come from that woman. And this is a mix of merino, alpaca, camel, and silk. It's already mixed, so I'm not going to do any other mixing or blending here. It's just a bit of a beigey camel color. Yeah, I don't know that I've ever spun camel, but I've definitely never spun this combination. So this is just little 50 gram, and she gave it to me just so that I could try practicing different types of fibers and figure out what I like, because when I met her, I was a very new spinner. So this one is, just going to go in. I've got, I think I said, I've already got 1 kilo of stuff here. I may change what I'm doing as I get going, but I don't have any particular plans for what I'm making with this stuff. This is all just, I'd love to spin it things. And so I will look at the fibre each time, decide whether I do 2 or 3 ply, decide whether I do long draw or short forward. Probably, if it's not a bat, it'll be short forward, and if it is a bat, it'll be long draw. That's probably where I'll end up. But yeah, no idea how this is going to spin, because I've never done that before. And how exciting is that? All right, I have this one. This is also 100% merino, colorway nectar. This is from Cat and Sparrow Fibre. Look at those colors. Colorway nectar. This one was a birthday present, I believe, from my parents. They came to visit last year and were here for my birthday, and they gave me some fibre. They gave me another colour as well, but when I was going through sorting and putting things away, this one popped out, and it was spring, and I was like, yes, I'm ready for some bright coloured things. And now that I'm in summer, I'm like, this is perfect, because it's so bright. It is just perfect summer, over the top colours. Because this is hand dyed and will have different colours, I'm not sure whether I'll just do a 2-ply and let the colours play, or if I'll try and do some more colour management. Maybe I'll do it, spin it from opposite ends and then ply it together. I don't know. But yes, loving and looking forward to some colour play. And that is 100 grams, which is, I've got 2 hand dyed 100 gram quantities here. And I have 2 100 gram quantities over here that are not hand dyed, but are also going to be a bit of colour play. So I have 2 of these scrappy bats from Fibre Arts Shed. I've bought them a couple of times. Here's the other one. Sorry if there's some crinkling. I've bought these a couple of times. I don't know if they do scrappy bats anymore. They do scrappy roving. I have a feeling they're not doing bats anymore. Maybe their machine broke, but it may be possible that it's been fixed. I haven't seen anything about bats, them not doing bats for a while. So maybe they've fixed the machine, I hope, because these are great. Basically what they do is they just get merino and they make scrappy bats. And so I ordered some on their website a while ago. And my parents brought them to me from Australia. So this was one of them that I originally bought. I love it. It makes me think of like an Australian desert scene with, oh, again, I'm trying not to make it too crinkly. But yeah, it makes me think of maybe a desert pool with some mountains and then the blue sky. I think it's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. So this one I've had for a while and I have been hesitant to spin it because I just love the colours so much. And just having it as a block like that is so beautiful. This is, when I went back to Australia more recently, I said I was going to a yarn show. I mean, I say more recently, 2 years ago. I was going to a yarn show and I knew they'd be there. And so I contacted them ahead of time and said, hey, are you going to have scrappy bats there? Is it possible for you to have scrappy bats there? So they made some and brought them, and I haven't actually opened this one up. I just saw the end colours and chose, I think I bought 3 that time. So yes, I've seen them at a couple of yarn shows in Australia and they are absolutely lovely people. Paul and, I'm not going to remember the wife's name. Anyway, Paul makes the bats, or made the bats, since they don't have bats anymore. Okay, so here are the colours that this one has. We've got beautiful deeper colours on that side and then brighter colours on that side. This is going to be so much fun to spin. So yeah, I'll do both bats, long draw, probably 2-ply. My long draw is not super consistent. It is getting better, but it's not super consistent. So I tend to end up with like a worsted or bulky, chunky, bulky weight yarn when I do 2-ply long draw. However, I also end up with some quite thin bits, and so it's very irregular. So I'm just going to go with that and see how I do. Yeah, this is all fun. I'm not spinning for a project, and I will, after they're spun, figure out what to make with all of these beautiful yarns that I'm making. All right, the next one that I have is also from the John Arden bin at Wonderful Wales, and it's a Devonia top. It's 50% Exmoor Blueface, 30% Blueface Leicester, and 20% Romney. And this is another little 3-colour pack. So I'm going to take that tape off so you can see the 3rd colour. So you can see 3 separate colours there, and altogether it's 89 grams. So I'm counting that 89 grams with that to put it up to 100 grams. That's how I got to my nice even number. I don't know how much this is, but I'm guessing it's about 11 grams. And the last one that I will show you this one. This one I have put here. This one I got from the Wool Room in Young in Australia. It's Shetland wool and Tussar silk roving. It's 100 grams and it's sea swirl. So I got this a few years ago, and it's this beautiful, I think the brown is like the natural Shetland, maybe. I'm not entirely sure. Oh, actually, no, maybe the brown is the silk. I don't remember. Anyway, it is beautiful. I love it. I've already spun 100 grams of this long draw. Even though it's a roving, I spun it long draw. That's what it wanted to be, and that's what it's going to be. And so I've put this in here because I need to spin the singles for the other 100 grams and then ply them together. So I'm going to count that. If I want to do that during tour, I will. And the last one that I have here is this mixed bag. Now this is 200 grams of English fibre, English wool fibre, British wool fibre. I don't know what it is. I don't know where it's from. I bought it. There was just a bin. It was their British wool shop. at Wonderwool Wales, and they just had a bin of fibre in bags for 200 grams. I don't remember how much it was per bag. And so it's just a roving, it's got some texture to it, not neppy texture, but like, it's a little toothy. I grabbed this bag because it had a good mix of different colours. And again, whatever I do, I will do the whole bag the same. I suspect I'll probably do 2-ply, try to get a fingering sport or DK weight. I'll see how thick I feel like spinning it at the time. And I'll use this in colour work for a project. I don't know what project, but I think that'll be my plan for that one, to just spin it as consistently as I can across the bag and then use it in the same project. So yeah, that is all the stuff that I have pulled out for Tour De Fleece. I have so much fibre now, it is ridiculous. What I pulled out barely even made a dent in I have a chest of fibre and then a couple of tubs as well. And this all came from the chest and it's barely made a dent, and it kind of horrifies me that I have that much not that I hate having fibre, but that I've collected that much over the time that I've been spinning, which is not very long. Yeah, so this is what I have. I can't pick it all up and show you all at the same time because it's just too much. My plans for tour, I will be spinning every morning. That is what I normally do when I can, is I spin in the morning. I haven't been doing it for the past month and a half because we've had guests and I haven't had the space to do that. But yes, normally I spin every morning on my wheel, which is a Kiwi 3, Ashford Kiwi 3. And then depending on what happens for the day, sometimes I'll spin for 15-20 minutes and put it away, and sometimes I'll get it out later and spin later. And sometimes, if I'm not interrupted, I'll just spin on into the morning. It really depends on what our days look like. So for tour, I'm just going to basically try and spin a bit extra. Make sure that I'm getting my spinning in the morning. When I am close to finishing a colour or something, I get motivated and I'm just like, oh, just finish this, that's fine. Which is one of the reasons why I thought having some smaller bats that I can just split into two, do a 2-ply, get those done pretty quick will be quite motivating for me. I'm even kind of tempted with some of these to just turn it into a 3-ply and do a mulled yarn, because that would work with both these little 3-packs. I might have a look and see whether the amount of fibre in each one is about the same. Maybe. Things like this Cheviot is not going to take long at all to spin up, and then my problem will become letting everything rest before I apply it. Anyway, that is not today's problem. I am going to sign off now. I did explain what Tour De Fleece was, yes. If you want to get involved, go see if you can find a team. I know Stash Dashes has a sign-up form for the moment, and that gets you entered into the giveaways and everything, and into Instagram chats. But they do have a Discord server as well. And so even if you're not entered into the giveaways or have a Instagram chat, you can still join in on Discord and chat there, and there's no limit to when you can join on Discord. So you can still be part of the community. If you don't want to do Stash Dashes, if you want to spin yarn, if you want to go wherever, just have a look around and see. I think there's a place on Ravelry, if you search Tour De Fleece, where a whole bunch of teams kind of register themselves so that you can say, I want to join this team, I want to join this team. And they'll say whether they're open to new members or whether they're closed teams. So yeah, if you're wanting to have a look, there are places to look, but look quick, because the sooner you join, the more you can participate, I guess. Otherwise, you can do what I did my first year, which is just pick out yarn from your stash and spin. I have not yet watched Tour De Fleece while I've been spinning, but I did watch the Netflix documentary of the previous year. at one point while I was spinning because I didn't have TV. So I couldn't watch the live stuff. Anyway, that is all for me today. I am going to go and get going with the rest of my plans for today, which do not involve spinning, unfortunately. It has been lovely to share with you a little bit of the fibre fun, and I don't know if I'll do a Tour De Fleece wrap-up video where I show what I actually managed to spin out of all this, or whether I'll just include that on my regular podcast. But stay tuned, I will be sharing what I have spun somewhere on my channel. If you're interested, like, subscribe. Not just spinning, I do mostly knitting, some crochet, some spinning, and some cross stitch. So if you're interested, you can go check out my regular channel or my regular podcast episodes. But thank you so much for being here, and I will see you next time. Bye.